What's up, guys? My name's Doug. Welcome to Fender Control. This video is going to be a little different. Now, before we get into what you came here to see, the amazing game Doom Eternal, this is going to require a little bit of backstory. With the world going into hell in a handbasket right now, I've had to try to figure out a way to do recordings. See, when I started my channel 2 years ago, I worked mornings, girlfriend worked nights. I had 3 to 4 hours a night to be able to do some recordings before she got home. Lately, with her schedule changing to where she works mornings with me, and then with, COVID-19 basically destroying the entire world here, it's been really difficult for me to be able to find time. So I've been straining my brain to try to figure out a way to record this. So what we have ahead of you in just a few moments is where I've done some recording of gameplay. There isn't a whole lot of me talking over it. As a matter of fact, there's none, because I had to try to figure out a way to get recording done without recording any voice, because otherwise I'd keep her awake. Both my job and her job have been classified as essential, so we're both fortunate to be still working right now. However, it's been rough. So, what you have ahead of you, anything you hear in this of my voice is going to be things I've dubbed in later. The gameplay we have ahead is me trying out a new mode. This is Extra Life mode. It's the first time I've played this, but Doom. Doom was a game that really kind of meant a lot to me in my childhood. This was the first big PC game I've ever really played back when I was a kid. So being able to play a brand new Doom game on my channel has been a huge thing to me, and I want to make sure to do it in honor. And let me just say, id Software, Bethesda, y'all knock this shit out of the park, man. This, as far as I'm concerned, this game deserves what I'm giving it here. This is my 3rd time playing through this game, and it deserves that. I can't feel that there's a better statement of appreciation for what a company has done in their game, particularly action games, the player actually wanting to play through it a 3rd time. So this means a lot to me, and I really hope y'all enjoy this. I will be dubbing over some lines of basically any of the documents or whatever I find. I will be dubbing over a little bit there, and enjoy.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Fall back! No! They're everywhere!
Transmitting from HB1556.
Casualties range in the billions.
They're breaking in!
We must pray now, brothers. Pray that he is watching.
Please, anyone, if you can hear me, if you're out there.
Attempting to acquire the Hell Priest signal.
Nearly 60% of our planet has been consumed by the invaders.
We have the Hell Priest signal locked in. The target is marked, but the signal will not hold for long.
For it is he that they fear, not man, or his armies. They fear the mark of the beast.
Is anyone left?
signal. I will mark it on your HUD.
Atop mighty thralls, the Hell Priests oversaw the invasion of the mortal world. The thrall, slave titan of the underworld, carried the priest temples into the wake of battle, providing the priests with vigil of Hell's advance from a strategically impervious emplacement. From their temple perch, the priests would emanate a powerful psionic influence, imposing greater coordination among the chaotic forces of Hell and increasing their battle effectiveness. The thrall, possessing superior resilience, proved indestructible by conventional weapons, thwarting all attempts by arc defensive forces. Only by severing the priest's psychokinetic tether could the Titan be neutralized, an act that could only be accomplished by an infiltration of the temple itself.
My soul remains guarded. You can't.
consumption of Earth has been reduced by 36.8%. There are 2 Hell Priests remaining.
is a necessary step on the path to a brighter tomorrow. The UAC would like to thank you for your support during this transition. Your suffering continues to inspire us.
Maker is nearby. She is inside that demonic citadel. I will mark her location on your HUD. The gathering of Hell Priests is located just above your location. My scans indicate there is a lift at the center of this facility.
One of the three Hell Priests, Deeg Nylox, is charged with ensuring that Hell's invasion of Earth succeeds. He prefers to operate on the planet's surface, working in his unholy barge carried on the back of a demonic titan. This provides him with an elevated, mobile position with which to oversee the campaign against humanity. Spiteful and cruel, Nylox frequently captures civilians alive so that their still living blood can be harvested for his occult rituals. Powerful practitioners of arcane magics, the priests have warped their powers to suit their insidious purpose, harnessing the dark forces of hellish psychomancy to prepare Earth for the final blood ritual. By blood were the Hell Priests bound to the dark ritual which now consumed Earth, and so long as even one of them lives, the consumption of Earth would continue, allowing Hell unfettered rule of the mortal world. Only by destroying the priests can the blood ritual be stopped and the Earth saved.
Maker is present at this gathering, but when outside of her domain, she is by all accounts indestructible.
How can this be? No man can pass through the gate. It is... This stops nothing. The
sacrament of this world to the great Khan Maker will be made, and the energy will be restored once again. As it is written, from the souls of the non-believers, you will not save them from their judgment.
You go too far this time. You cannot interfere. This is humanity's chance to repent, to give service to us. You cannot resist the will of the Khan Maker.
Activating the portal now.
For it was you who was meant to enforce it.
I do not have the means to locate the second Hell Priest. Your celestial locator is missing a component. We will need a replacement. I've completed the redesign of your equipment launcher. The flame belch is now ready for your approval. The portal is activated and ready when you are.
Translation from the Lingua Septuaginta, the Book of Kings. What treachery comes from our darkest selves, driven by greed and want? For I have been deceived by the Deeg. They came north with the priests, as allies to our cause against the Khan Maker and her unscrupulous methods. Their silvery tongues wagging, they laid a plan for us, and sowed the seed of desire for hasty triumph. They claim knowledge of the Maker's source of power in the demon realm, a vast foundry of souls where the innocent are put to the fire for their essence. In the foundry's destruction, our victory is assured, they told us, and the fools that we were, that I am, believed their lies. On their word, we sent the Doomslayer and the Night Sentinels to destroy the foundry, and the priest cast a gate for their egress. As the last veteran entered the demon's empire, our final hope of reclaiming our dominion, the Deeg closed the path and left them stranded. They were trapped, lost in an eternal void by the action of the traitors. How could I not see their intention? Am I blinded by grief for the loss of Terras Nabad? Of my people? We have fled again, with barely a legion of the Night Sentinels left to protect us. The Deeg are gone, returned to their mistress. May the race forgive my failure. Translation from the Libra Soltaginta, the Book of Kings. In the days before man first spoke, an immense shard of rock and metal was cast into the world from the heavens. Thunder and cataclysm shook the land as the skies were torn asunder. The cosmic spear cleft a hole through our mortal lands, pole to pole, from the cold wastes of the Umbral plains to the fetid swamps of Ironfang. The womb of the world opened, and the elemental race, the firstborn, spilled forth. They took to the skies, fierce in their emancipation. In their exultation they brought vitality to the land, and all that felt their breath were awakened from eternal slumber. Fierce beasts and an unforgiving biosphere rose in their passing of their shadow as the wraith cell echoed against Argent Nur. First came the ancestrals, feral creatures. Invigorated by the magic of the race, they grew to enormous heights, mighty behemoths who waged war with each other for years untold. Their battles tore the land asunder and destroyed all creation caught in their wake. The wraith call continued to spread across the land, and soon the Argenta emerged from the steppes, our souls stirred into form by the power of their breath. The Titans towered over the wild-blooded tribes, but found them uncowed. The secret of the sword was discovered, and in the darkness of sweltering mountain forges we beat steel until it was strong enough to pierce bone and sever flesh. Thus we came to be, born of rock and fire, lowly in birth, but risen by the strength of our will. By the blessedness of the first ones, we forged sword and shield and took the hammer to the by right of blood and magic. And the time of man came to be. With the ancestral beasts driven back to their bleak valleys, we rose. We tilled the fertile land, husbanded beasts of burden, and built towering cities. In the hallowed palace on the obsidian throne, we crowned King Owermero, the Father, the first of the line that shall reign in perpetuity. We built the cathedral of reflection to worship the first ones and form the Order of the Deeg, whose priests pay tribute to the race and appease their tempestuous hunger. Our sons and daughters chose the path of the sword or the path of the alchemist, for each duty honored the gods. Though our ways were righteous, we were not without strife. Stones and great quakes cast our spines down. Barbaric tribes laid siege to our fields in search of the great gifts Mother Argenta had bestowed upon all the world. And the song of the wraith call threatened to drive lesser men into madness. We were not lesser men. We defended that which the first ones gifted to us, our lands and right to the bounty held within. We beat back the barbarian hordes and hardened our resolve. We rose above the fire, our bodies and souls tempered, and an unbreakable will was shaped in the forge of battle. What emerged was the heart of our legion, the Order of the Night Sentinels.
Despite their transgressions against the Covenant, they are still of Sentinel blood. What you interfere with now is bigger than you can imagine. It is written. It is their time to give penance. If you continue, you will bring down the heavens' wrath. You are but one man. They are no longer your people to save.
This Sentinel battery is used to provide additional power to your ship. Several modules remain unused. Finding more batteries will enable you to utilize the full functions of your command station.
Argenta legends speak of sentinel beasts, loyal creatures that lived as companions of the hardened warriors. Often larger, swifter, and stronger than others of their kind, these animals shared instincts with their masters and aided them in battle. The Night Sentinels never shared publicly the origin of these creatures, for only they stood worthy of them.
There is a Sentinel power core nearby. You can use it to activate the mech and clear a path forward.
In the time of grief, when King Etrex took the throne, a blessing came to the people of Argenta. White porcelain beings from a world above our own brought gifts to Daenur. Observers to our great deeds, admirers of our convictions, they sought to make bond with our swords and bring lasting order to our world. These were beings unlike any we had seen before. Sword and shield held no weight against them, for the ethereal flesh of these luminous beings seemed unbound by mortality. Able to move through time and space, they held sway over all dominions of the known and unknown dimensions. Through their ways we grew stronger, our society bolstered by their infinite wisdom and all-knowing power, assuring our people safety for all time, in this world and the next. Where we sharpened the blade and mastered our magic, they bolstered the soul and spirit. Death would no longer be the end of our people. The ones we call the Makers, our new allies in this brutal world, have given us the security in death we fought so hard to achieve in life. We would find eternal peace, and our minds would rest easy with the knowledge that those we fought alongside in battle would join us in the lands beyond the mortal plane. The strength of our ways, the purity of our essence, would by Maker law grant us passage to the great city in the clouds. There, our women and children, warriors and kin alike, would welcome us. With machine and enchantment of the makers, the Argenta brought our newfound clarity to the desperate realms of the Empyrean Void. We took flight with the support of our gods, spreading the enlightened word of the Khan Maker. We discovered there was not one enemy, but many. Worlds and peoples unknown to the Argenta were unveiled, and we saw our own suffering reflected in their eyes. Our righteous armies strode into battle under the banner of the Night Sentinels, and fought for the freedom of all peoples from the grasp of those who would exploit and prey upon them. Though we battled on soil not our own, the blood we shared in foreign land safeguarded Argent Denur, and the sons and daughters that defended it. Through the strange peoples we liberated, new alliances were formed, and our beliefs became their own. Our armies swelled. As the Argenta traversed the stars with gleaming war fleets, the Khan of the Makers approached King Roan on his throne. He sensed his god restless by her disquiet manner. The king and Khan spoke, and the god revealed she had foreseen a schism in the blood of the Argenta. A test would be required to identify its host among us. She spoke of a holy rite to be performed on the strongest of our warriors. Only those that proved worthy would be tested, for the impurity could reside in only the most resilient of our legion. The Divinity Machine, a great tribute by Maker Scholaris, would help us cleanse any impurities from our flock, ensuring our continued prosperity in this world and in the Maker realm that awaited us in the afterlife. The Malicious One, if not exhumed from our ranks, would jeopardize our safe passage to the heavenly realm of Urdak. The Dark One was not amongst them yet, nor would he be for many generations. Only the Mother God, through divination and Maker's sight, would determine when he stood before them. The Makers were truth, and only their unclouded eyes could find the one who was marked. The prophecy of the Unholy One was written, but through the ages the warning grew faint until only the Khan Maker herself and the High Priest of the Order Deeg still whispered that of he that would one day come to threaten their way of light.
betrayer's life signal is nearby. There are motion sensors and artillery everywhere.
I told you all to leave me here. I am where I belong. Saving your people will not bring you peace. Only make the burden you carry worse. And now you seek to defy the Khan Maker herself. It is your people's time now to give penance, just as it was mine. Hear me, Slayer. When his heart is laid to rest, then his soul will be at peace.
After years of prolonged war against the demonic threat invading the world, Argent D'Nur launched an offensive strike across dimensions, sending their greatest warriors into the heart of hell itself. Despite their training and their preparedness, their honor was undone by deceit. Betrayal at the highest levels of command left Argent D'Nur's bravest warriors cut off and scattered in the hellscape. But of these last remaining Night Sentinels, only one remained in hell by choice. Betrayer of the Argenta, it was Commander Valen who relinquished the keys to the elemental sepulchre in return for his son's resurrection. Haunted by demonic visions, the image of his son's tortured existence plagued him without relent, the whispers of demons pushing him toward madness. In a moment of weakness, he fell prey to the demon's trickery, sealing the fate of Argent D'Nur and dooming the kingdom to which he swore a lifelong oath to protect. Valen chose exile in the hellscape for his sacrilege.
The extraction point has been identified. I will mark its location on your HUD.
King Novik ruled over Sentinel Prime for many years as its warrior patriarch, ordained protector of the sovereign Sentinel worlds. The Sentinel people, defined by a legacy of war, deem only those of warrior caste befit to rule, and in times of battle it is expected that the king lead from the battlefield rather than from the safety of the throne. As it is written in Sentinel law, a king unfit for battle is likewise unfit to rule. For millennia, the Sentinel people have secured their civilization against the threat of invasion from beast and human alike, passing on the mantle of battle to each subsequent generation, and refining the craft of war into an art of ultimate mastery. Even in times of peace, the Night Sentinels remain vigilant, developing new technologies of conquest, each the more capable of securing their dominion across the sovereign worlds.